What do you think it takes, in your opinion, to get to this level of success?
I think you need mental toughness, like a bit of grit. There were hundreds of times that I wanted to quit and I wanted to leave, but I don't mind taking on overpriced properties, but often I will start as for sale, because if that big price is out there, that is normally how I've been able to get it. The mistake that I made was that I didn't put a proper team in place early enough. So I suggest that pick a price or pick a time.
So you kind of give them the choice to, if you want to take the risk and sit on the market longer,
and
pick a time.
I'm there for the ride. I don't mind, but it might not happen straight away.
Agents, welcome to the Get Keen podcast, your number one destination for learning how to get the most out of your real estate career. I'm Dan Lee, founder of Plum Property, one of Queensland's largest independent real estate offices, and Plum Partners, where we've helped dozens of agents create, run and grow their very own agencies. On Get Keen, I chat to high-performing agents, principals, and agency owners, so you have the tools, strategies, and insights to grow your business and live the best life for yourself and your family. Now let's get keen. Welcome to Get Keen. Have I got a guest for you today? I call her Alexandra the Great because she's one of the greatest agents Brisbane's ever seen. And there's not enough, really highly successful lady agents out there. I don't know why, because they're usually better. And Alex is part of the McGrath Network. She's been a finalist for the REIQ Salesperson of the Year 23 to 25, recognized as a top 50 agent by REB, and named REB top 50 women in real estate in the whole of Australia. Huge in 2020. And achieved Queensland's number one agent. Which suburb is it that you, like on Rate My Agent, you have had a number of years as number one agent?
Aspley, Zilmere, Geebung.
Yeah, because you've had three different ones, so I couldn't remember all three.
That's
so
okay.
doing over 80 deals a year with her team at an average price of about 1.7. Does that make sense?
We get some of the higher ones.
Yeah.
But I'm more like cheap and cheerful, which is actually not so cheap anymore.
No.
About million.
Yeah.
And when we hit like the million average sale price, we were like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, it certainly says higher on realestate.com.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So I guess your average sale price has just been creeping up with the market, right?
Yeah, I've had a couple of big ones in there, so that'll help.
That's good. Good. What's your biggest sale you've done?
3.5 mil.
Nice.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, it feels good to do one of those, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was an auction, so that was a bit fun. Yeah.
So, Alex, I met you at an industry dinner recently, and we got chatting. I realised we got into real estate at the same time, and we're the same age. So we were born in the same year. I won't mention what that is. We're very young, okay? But take us back to the beginning when you started in real estate and what that was like for you, because you're super successful now, but it's so much different back at the beginning. Can you give us a 3 to 5 minute sort of summary of your career so far?
Yeah, so at the start, it was pretty tough. I was 21. I was probably pretty stupid compared to most people. I didn't have any sort of street sense or anything like that. So everything I had to learn from the word go. And I found that for me, I had to work 7 days a week. I was working till 9 o'clock most nights, and it was pretty tough. I lost a lot of friends in the process as well because I couldn't go out and party, which was what everyone was doing when they were 21. So I made the choice to focus on my career, and I had no plan B, basically. So I had to make it work.
Yeah. 21's very young, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've seen people enter younger that are just better. They're just so good, and I'm like, wow. Like I kind of wish I had have started younger because there was just so much I didn't know that some people just know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me a lot, and I didn't believe in myself for a very long time either. So even becoming a high performing agent, it took years and years.
You said you work till 7 at night, 7 days a week, and when you start out, you don't have listings and sales. Some people don't even know how to work till 7 at night. Or what are you doing in all that time?
Yeah, so it was off until 9 at night. From 7 p.m. to 9 p.m, I was writing thank you cards. So everyone that I'd spoken to during the day that I'd cold called, I would go and drop thank you cards to them. So that was fun. And then my days were cold calling. So that's how I survived. I cold called, I door knocked, I visited garage sales, buyer inquiries. So if other agents in the office let me prospect their buyer inquiry, then that's what I did. So my days at the start were contacting 100 people before lunch. And then my afternoon was a bit slower with like 30 or 40 connects.
Yeah, nice. And was your general approach, so with the cold calling, you're focusing on a specific area and you're really just calling to introduce yourself and seeing if you can give people information about their home?
Yeah, that's right. And then I used to do letterbox dropping on Sundays. So that was like 8 hours letterbox dropping patches.
Wow. Really?
Intense.
So of those, cold calls, what would that sort of lead to? What was
So the goal for the day was to set one really good appointment, someone who was selling. If, for instance, I set other appointments with people who weren't selling, that was okay. But it was to find one person. And so there would be days where sometimes after 7 o'clock, I'd still be making calls because I hadn't found that one person who was selling. And then I'd go home and then I'd feel bad about it and it sucked and I cried most nights. And then the next day I might find 2 sellers. So that would make up for the day that I hadn't found the one.
Wow. Do you reckon you genuinely would have found on average 1 a day?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. And because the longer I did it, the better I got at closing people. Like I stuffed up a lot because I didn't know what to say next either, or I got scared in the moment. So as months went on and years, I would then find like 3 or 4. And, then I would call on the markets because back then the average days on market was like 60 days. So that was also a really good lead gen source when I got my confidence up.
So you took over a lot of listings that had expired with other agents?
You bet.
Yeah, because there's better opportunities for you now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have people call me now.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it?
Nice.
When you get to that. Yeah. So you've achieved huge success. Like you've got how many in your team?
So I have 4 others on
4
my
others.
team.
So a team of 5, big unit.
Yes.
Lots of success. There's at least a few $1 million of GCI running through that business. How long have you been at this sort of level?
So I've been writing over $1 million in GCI for about 10 years. It's sort of during COVID was when it jumped because the prices jumped. So it's probably only been since then that
you've
my
gone
trajectory really changed and shot up.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think it takes, in your opinion, to get to this level of success?
I think you need mental toughness, like a bit of grit. People, they don't like us because we call them and you get told no so many times and you have to be able to keep persevering. There were hundreds of times that I wanted to quit and I wanted to leave, but I didn't, and here I am, and I'm happy for that. But I had to often, cool off. If there was a tough moment, I would walk out of the office, go for a walk down the street to the servo or wherever, come back and freshen up. So there's that, right? Yeah. I also think you genuinely have to care for people, looking after people and trying to help them through what is often a very challenging journey. They can see if you care, they can see it in your eye. And so I think that's where if you genuinely care for people, that's how you will probably get more longevity and actually really taking pride in what you do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
When you started out and you were doing all that hard prospecting stuff, how long did it take you to actually get some listings?
So when I started, the role that I was in was getting listings for others in the office. So they were listing straight away.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was setting appointments and they were listing them straight away. So for myself though, when I became a listing agent, that wasn't so easy. That took me months. Yeah. Because I was scared. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. And it was like big, scary sellers, and they're not actually that scary at all. They just need you to sit down and have a conversation with them and talk about what to do next. So once I figured that out, it was fine. But often I used to have to turn up to appointments with the questions that I was going to ask because I got so nervous that I'd completely lose what I was doing and where are we up to, what are we talking about. So I had my questions there so that way I knew what I was doing next.
So that really helped you just in the beginning, having a structure of the questions, just following it, even though you might have looked as though you were looking at the questions sometimes. It didn't really matter?
No, because the way I set it up on my pad was I'd have their address and then the questions there and I'd make notes as I went.
Yeah.
And I said to them, do you mind if I make notes so that I can keep record of everything we're talking about? And they were okay with that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Have you ever been stuck at a certain point, and felt like you weren't really getting any further for a while, but then you flipped a switch and you're like, oh, can't believe I didn't do that ages ago. What sort of...
Yeah, I think that's happened actually a few times in my career where I was like writing certain figures and I wanted to get to the next step.
So what helped you get there?
Delegating and letting go and inviting team members in.
Okay.
So I guess I was probably a bit of a control freak for a while because I wanted to make sure the best of the best was being done for each of my clients. The good news is that there are people out there who can do just as good a job as me, if not better. So by introducing more people, that has definitely helped my career.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how long, you said after COVID, it sort of went to the next level. How many on your team before that?
So it's chopped and changed over the years. So I always usually had buyer manager and then an administrator, okay? So there was normally me and 2 others. During COVID, it dropped off. So there was 2 of us, and then as soon as that was over and we knew everything was okay, then I started reintroducing people back in. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've gone now from 2 to 5. 5's still big.
Yeah, but with my team, so I'm the listing agent. Samantha is now listing with me, which is great. So I've got a co-lead agent. We've been doing that this year, which is awesome. And she's also a buyer manager role. And then I have another buyer manager and I have 2 administrators.
2 buyer managers, 2 administrators.
Yeah.
Any prospecting?
No.
So
I still prospect.
You do sole prospecting and basically
so
lead
Samantha
generation.
and I do a lot of the prospecting. Kelsey also does prospecting as well off the buyer inquiry.
Okay.
But the prospecting, the way that I've always looked at it is that if James Tostovan still prospects, then I still need to prospect.
Yeah,
People want to
absolutely.
hear from me. And I can talk. I can talk about everything with the market and my properties and what's going on very fluidly. And people like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you've only got so much time in your day for prospecting, and there's enough probably leads just coming in and people to talk to, past clients, sort of higher level, warmer leads, whereas not so much of that cold stuff that you used to do.
That's right.
So does the team still do much of the cold stuff?
No.
No?
No.
You don't need to?
No.
Isn't that nice? Huh? You can get to that level.
You can.
How long does it take to get to that level, do you think, most agents?
I think if you're really good at it within 5 years,
Yeah.
I've seen people do it in less though.
Yeah.
But if we're being real on average,
on
within
average.
5 years,
Yeah.
I think if people are head down, bum up and really do whatever it takes to get their business up and running, then that's the time frame they should be looking
5
at.
years, but there's also some extra steps in there. It's not just time, right? And they can't just be good at certain things. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the content. Just quickly, if you're interested in knowing what it might look like for you to own your own real estate business and brand, then that's what me and my team do. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own agency and brand so they can earn higher commissions and set up a better life for themselves. If you're interested in what that might look like, just click the link in the show notes and book a call with me or one of my team members, and we'll find out whether or not this is a good fit for you. Now let's get back to the episode. What do you reckon 3 things I have to be really good at to get to that level in 5 years?
I think they have to be able to manage their time, and that's on so many different levels. So I had a daily structure. So my prospecting was always in the morning and my appointments were in the afternoon. So that helped me stay focused with making sure I was getting everything done. With the time as well, though, I think it's also making sure you're putting enough time aside for your clients and having the processes and the systems in place to not let anything fall through the cracks. So like I have a to-do list that I follow. So, someone's on the phone to you and they're saying, oh, we need you to chase up booking in a building and pest. No worries. Then your phone rings and then it's another request. So, you've got to write stuff down and be reliable. And I think you have to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
So if you're saying to clients that you're going to get the proposal through to them by 6 p.m. the following night, you do it, if not better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are really great points. You got 2 young children, I saw in your video. Profile video. So that must be hard. That throwing children into being a high performer is another challenge altogether. You also was already high performing, had children, stayed high performing. How did having children affect your results?
It didn't, because I didn't take time off.
Wow. That's pretty
Intense.
That's pretty intense.
And I do not recommend that.
No? Well, give us your advice on that.
Yeah, so the mistake that I made was that I didn't put a proper team in place early enough. So, I suggest that implementing other team members and letting go of responsibilities, the non-dollar responsibilities, non-dollar productive responsibilities is really important. If I had have had a team that, like I do now, then I would have been able to step away.
And I think this is a concern for a lot of female agents agents who, want to make something of themselves, but then they're like, oh, if I have children, it's just going to ruin it all. What advice would you give to them coming up, like if they were getting into it and thinking about that?
Yeah, so I would suggest that they start thinking about the best team dynamic that's going to work within their business.
Yeah.
For me, it was always having a buyer manager, purely because we just get so inundated that I couldn't give buyers the best customer service without having a buyer manager. If that buyer manager can also list as well, if you train them up to be able to take on some of the overflow, then that's really great. And it means that when you do need to step out, then they can do that. I prefer having an administrator as well, because I think they're different personalities to salespeople. So that's what I would do. And if I had have had that in place properly, like years leading into having kids, then I would have been able to step away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the first one, did it make it easier to sort of navigate the second one? Or not?
I mean, I just rinsed and repeated.
Right. So it was all just within sort of 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it amazes me. It would have been so hard. Like, I can't imagine doing it. I know what it's like being a dad, and that's easier. So yeah, well done.
It was tough.
On getting through that. Yeah,
Thanks.
that's tough. That's really, like, you're obviously tough. You're tough to do that. So, and it's probably one of the big reasons underlying your personality and characteristic of who you are, which has helped you to get to where you are. In your video as well, you also mentioned that you're quite extroverted person and that your dad told you to get into real estate because of that. Do you think being an extrovert is important?
I think you have to enjoy talking to people. So I get my energy from people, and that's more so why Dad suggested that. So if I'm having a bad day and then I go into a listing appointment, I usually leave happy because I enjoy being around people. Yeah. So I think, again, for longevity, if you enjoy being around people, then you are probably going to be more successful. Yeah.
And is that what you look for in your team members?
It depends on their role, but yes, when I am recruiting, it is about people who I can see genuinely care for others. Yeah. And then the roles that they do is often molded around their personalities. Yeah, we figure that out as we go, and we go, oh, you're actually like really great at that. Well, maybe we can do something there. Yeah.
Great. And you have a really good list to sell ratio. I saw online 90% of your listings sell. Which in a market like this is really good. How do you ensure that each listing is positioned to achieve that outcome?
So I feel as though it's very much a case-by-case scenario depending on the property. So I am very particular about my strategy around each property. I think about who the buyers are going to be for that property, the frustrations they're potentially facing given any particular market, and then I go, okay, we're going to do offers over for this one, or we're going to list without a price. Now, when I've got overpriced owners, often I will start without a price. Sometimes I'm wrong. Okay. So, and I think this is where we've got to be really careful as agents not to be the gatekeeper on price, because like this week I've just had 2 properties sell for $100,000 more than what I would have dreamed was possible for those properties. So I think we as agents, and during COVID I learnt that we have to take a step back and think about what is actually possible, and naturally there's a bit of luck in there as well. So I don't mind taking on overpriced properties, but often I will start as for sale, because if that big price is out there, that is normally how I've been able to get it.
You don't find less people come through when it's overpriced and no price on it?
Well, when it's for sale, everyone comes through because there is no price on it. So everyone comes through, and then that gives you the opportunity to educate the owner. So we collect offers. I don't really mind, and I say that to buyers. You can start wherever you like, and then we start negotiating, and then I talk to the owners. And I guess this is where sometimes experience comes in as well, because I've seen a lot over the 20 years, so I can guide owners. You know, we let owners know what we do behind the scenes, and then I set them up and say, well, this is how many people we should expect to your open home. And so then if we get less, then they're disappointed. And naturally, the only reason a property won't sell, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter how bad it is, the only reason it won't sell is the price. Like I learned that during the GFC. So, you know, this is where I think there's probably a few little steps there, like with the setup to sell, you know, making sure that they understand the process and what can happen when you have a well-priced property. when I list properties at for sale and nothing is happening, then I switch it back and do the offers over. So that if it is not abundantly clear that it is overpriced from the offers and whatever's going on and we haven't sold it, then we do the offers over, then it is clear. And then the owner has to decide, they have to decide between a price or time, because I will always support my owners. I don't mind what they want to do, but if they're telling me they need to sell next week and they've got this high price, then I tell them it may not happen, depending on what I'm seeing. So pick a price or pick a time.
That's good, hey? So you kind of give them the choice to, you know, if you want to take the risk and sit on the market longer,
and
pick a time.
I'm there for the ride. That's okay.
That's okay.
I don't mind, but it might not happen straight away.
Yeah, okay. What other tips to get owners sort of towards that price? So you'd go no price for a couple of weeks to get some feedback.
Yes.
You get that feedback, you put a price on it. What if the price is still too high?
Then the best thing that can happen is nothing happens, because then it's abundantly clear to the owner. They've got some decisions to make, you know, and I don't mind. You know, I've had owners where I have said to them, do you think it's better that we rent the property out? Like if this is a lifestyle choice for them and they're actually not motivated, which, you know, I know agents probably take on unmotivated owners, which is not great, although the market's going up, so it's probably a bit better right now. But the choice is then theirs. Pick a price or pick a time. Conversation works really well. And sometimes I have to have that conversation several times for it to sink in. Yeah, this is what we'll sell for today. You know, if we've got offers on the table, this is what we'll sell for today. I don't know what it's going to be in 2 weeks, though. Might be more. It also might be less. It might be 30 grand less. Then how are you going to feel?
To put a bit of fear in them.
Yeah, I know, it sounds dreadful, doesn't it?
No, well, you can't. It's just
the
real.
truth.
It's the truth.
I know, and I've had it happen. This is the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I have had it happen more times than I'm happy about, where owners are like, oh, no, it's still early days, you know, that one, and we've only had 2 open homes, and you go, okay, but this is great. You know, my average days on market is 9 days, so the process that I run is pretty solid. So if, for instance, they're not accepting the offer, that's okay. I've had this happen before, though, and I've had owners where we have looked at 50 grand less in 2 weeks' time, and then they're kicking themselves, and then they're getting angry at me for not telling them to take the offer. I never tell owners to take an offer. I'm not going to do that. So that's where the decision is theirs ultimately with what they want to do. You've got to have some really hard, confronting conversations, and you've got to do it from a caring perspective. This is not about me. This is not about me getting paid commission. This is about them. And it has to come from that angle, because if they think that you are doing it for you, nothing's going to come of it. They're just going to think you're this money grabbing.
How do you make them feel like it's for them?
Because you talk about them, what they're trying to do, what their motivation is. You talk about the stats in the marketplace. You talk about the feedback with the buyers. You ask them how they feel about it. You know, how do you feel about the offers? It's not about how I feel. It's about them.
Yeah. Great. That's awesome. Your children, having children and being in real estate, high performing, it's a lot to take on, probably too much for a lot of people to be able to be that hardworking with the family as well. What sort of mechanisms do you use to sort of cope mentally on, because it does get really hectic?
Well, good question.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I have a big team is to help me get my time back. So I have started setting boundaries. I don't think what we do is life or death. This is probably not what people necessarily want to hear, but I have boundaries, you know. And the funny thing is I used to do appointments all through the night till like 9:30 at night. I mean, I used to go out and do stuff at like 11 o'clock at night. It was ridiculous. So when owners and clients can't get in touch with me, I might be an appointment. And you know what? That appointment might be me putting my kids to bed. So I have my diary and I block out times, and they are appointments, and it might be personal or it might be work, but that is what I have done for my own sanity, so that I'm not feeling the mum guilt too hard. Yeah, because that is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it was very, very hard at the start, making the most of my time as well. So making sure that I wasn't faffing about in the office and that I was using my time also became imperative. Like, I don't just sit around. I am prospecting. I am working. It is happening.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So being very good with your time and setting the boundaries.
Yeah.
Right? Like what's a boundary that you've got that's just like a non-negotiable?
I don't really talk to people after 7 o'clock at night.
Right. So phone's off after 7.
Yeah, my phone's not off. Like, it would have to be a really great negotiation for me to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I had one last night And I know it's sort of, I don't know, like it's not stalling, but I knew it wasn't going to be life-changing last night just based on all the conversations leading up. And that's okay. It's gone into today. And I actually think more time in that particular negotiation is going to help me.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else to,
Yeah. So I'm really big on goal setting. I'm big on affirmations. I'm big on journaling, manifesting, all of it.
So you write in a journal every day?
Yeah.
Really? In the morning?
Yeah, or at night. It depends on the feelings. It's so good for you. Often you feel very different after you've done it. Moments of frustration is usually when I do it. And so this is where the affirmations are really great in the morning and the goal setting is really great in the morning to start your day right. And I've done that for a very long time. And it is also a really good reminder of why you're doing what you're doing when times get tough or a negotiation gets tough. But the journaling is in my bag. It's with me all the time because when there are certain things going on, I think that's what helps just level you out a bit.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to get it out.
Yeah, you do. Like I've got my own way to get things out of my head. It's not journaling, but everyone's got to find their thing, right?
Vent a lot to my team. I am very expressive. So I do vent a lot, which is great.
I'd like to see you in vent mode.
No, you don't. And Tamika, my co-principal, like she knows me very well. So if I'm super frustrated, I'll pull her aside and vent. You got to have your people as well, your support team. Yeah,
awesome. If your children, when they grow up, one of them becomes 21 like you were and says, Mum, I'm going to be a real estate agent like you and I want to be super successful. And you said, right, I'll be your coach. How would you coach them? What steps would you say they need to do like in their first 3 years to get on the board and then 5 years to massive success like you?
Yeah. So it's back to the basics. So prospecting around other agents' listings, because when you don't have anything, I think that's where you got to start. So prospecting around just listeds and just solds, because often there's people thinking about it. All the door knocking and everything I think is great. And a lot of people are letting go of that, but it's actually, it works so effectively.
I think it's going to come back more because calls are getting harder with the screenings.
Yes. The social media aspect I think is something that I've somewhat missed, but it seems to be taking up a really great space. So I think really getting on the ball with that, educating the marketplace, I think that's really important now as well. So rather than just being perceived as, the normal real estate agent that's just trying to make money, you're actually coming from an education perspective and helping people, being active in your local community, meeting as many people as you can and, spreading the word about what you do. Yeah. That's like, there's so much though.
There is so much.
So many actions you can do every single day to be in front of people. Like you shouldn't ever really be in the office unless you're on the phones.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be action all the way through, all the time. You've got to be out there.
And what would be sort of, if someone was doing really good after a year, how many listings might they have? How many would your daughter have after a year if she was hardcore prospecting? Carrying and sold?
Well, yeah, it depends on the market space. But like if they'd sold like 30 in their first year, that'd be insane.
Oh, that's huge. That's probably like
I'm
year
probably
3.
a bit out of touch, hey?
That's probably year 3, I reckon.
I know, 20.
Do you hope your children might follow in your footsteps and be a real estate agent?
My daughter might.
Your daughter might?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems similar personality.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, maybe one day you'll have that chance to be the coach for your kids.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We'll see.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for your insights, Alex. It's been so good having you here. You're truly remarkable as a lady in real estate in Brisbane, one of the all-time greats, Alexandra the Great, as I will now call her. Thank you for being here and sharing all of your wisdom with the audience.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode got you thinking about starting your own real estate business and building your own brand, Plum Partners may be able to help. Book a call using the link in the show notes and let's see if we're the right fit to help you create, run and grow your own real estate brand. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and follow me on Instagram at Dan_Lee_Plum. Until next time, keep getting keen.